What's up, people? My name is Mike. It's really hot in here, so if you see me sweating or if I'm rubbing my forehead, you know what's going on. I'm doing my best. But today I want to talk about time. It's extremely interesting because everyone sees time differently, right? But the one constant about time is that we all have the same amount of it. Sure, we all live different amounts of years. Sure, we all do different things with our time. But once time has passed, nobody gets that back. And I want you to really think about this as I talk about this topic, because I'm going to reference back to this idea a few times, right? So when you're young, your concept of time is completely different than when you get older, right? When you're young, days fly by. And it's kind of weird because when you're 5 years old, you've been on the planet for half as long as when you're 10 years old. You've experienced twice as much time on the planet. But do you treat time the same as you get older? I think that a lot of us, as we get older, start to value our time more. And I think it's because we look at the years that we have remaining and we start to realize that, okay, dang, like I'm almost 30, and despite all the time and energy that I've spent, I've not made the progress I want in life. I'm not quite where I want to be, or there's still so many things that I want to do, or so many experiences that I want to have. And you start to realize, like, time's ticking, you know? So I think it's extremely important that you really value your time. Think about, who are you spending your time with? Who are you giving your time to? And how can you best leverage your time, right? I made a video about how long is your 9 to 5. And by the end of the video, it's pretty much established that you spend about 12 hours minimum at a 9 to 5 job. And this is pretty much true across the board. Most of the people that I talk to, this pretty much is the case. But if you're in a situation where you want to get your time back, then you're gonna have to start making some changes. You're gonna have to start making some decisions. And this is where you need to start asking yourself, what am I willing to sacrifice in order to get my time back? Once you start valuing your time more, you'll start to realize that most people don't really value their time, or they do value their time, but they don't take action towards leveraging their time. One way that you can leverage your time is to leverage your time with money. So let's say you make $20 an hour and you spend an hour every single night cooking dinner. What if you paid somebody else $20 to cook for you? You're already working for $20 an hour, so you're buying back an hour of your own time and you're just paying somebody else to do the work for you. What if instead of paying them 20 bucks an hour, you could pay them $10 an hour? So now you've used half an hour of your time to buy an hour of somebody else's time. You understand where I'm going with this? And this is not an isolated thing. So if you go to the store and you're buying groceries and you walk out spending $100, you have just landed yourself 5 more hours in your job. When you see the ice cream and it's $10, I want you to imagine, is this ice cream worth 30 minutes of me sitting at my job that I don't even like? Is this bag of chips or like this, what do they call it, Kool-Aid jammer, is this worth a half hour of my time? If it is, right? Like, you can be honest with yourself. We're all gonna be on a different spectrum here, but for me, absolutely not. So what would you rather spend your money on? What would you rather spend your time on? And once you start doing this, you'll start to notice your entire mindset starts to shift. Maybe instead of imagining this is a half hour that I need to spend at work to pay for this, you start thinking this is a half hour that I don't get to spend with my family because I'm buying this, right? Maybe it's this is an hour of my time that I don't get to spend with my wife. So be very careful about what you spend your money on, because if you're trading your time for money, then you're trading your money for time. You understand? It's a two-way street. So here's my challenge for you. If you're a very compulsive spender, or if you don't really value your time and you let other people waste your time, then I want you to do one of two things. If you don't like your job, every time someone's wasting your time, I want you to imagine that you're stuck at your job and that this person on your day off, while you're going about your daily business, has the nerve to make you go back to work. If you love your job, then I want you to imagine that when someone walks up to you and starts wasting your time, they have the nerve to take time away from you that you could be spending towards people that you love. You really don't get that back. Time is the only thing in the world that once you lose it, that's it. You know, try not to obsess over it, right? You're gonna have to strike a balance, because stressing yourself out over things that you can't change, that's no good either. But just start thinking about it. And I think that as you do this, you'll also start to realize that Maybe there are people in your life who aren't really worth your time. And that's not an easy thing to say, it's not an easy thing to confront, but if you are surrounded by people like that, something to think about. Just think about it, right? Like, there's a lot of things you can do to get your time back. Anyway, that's all I really got for you today. I appreciate the time you took, and until next time.